This feels different. The war with Iran has begun. Missiles are crossing borders. And yet, most of us are watching it from our phones. The weeks leading up to this event were somewhat surreal. There was this moment of pause after the allocation of resources to the area became apparent, and a quiet question was hanging in the air. What exactly is happening? Are they actually going to bomb Iran? Are they really going to attack Iran? After 30 years of saber rattling, is this finally the moment it turns real? Would the United States cross that line? The same line we were told for decades should never be crossed? This didn't start yesterday. It didn't start last month. And it didn't start with one missile. This war has been building for decades. It cycled through peace talks, sanctions, and proxy wars. Red lines drawn, ultimatums shouted. So often, it became background noise. But now, missiles are crossing borders. It no longer lives in the background. This is direct confrontation. And for all intents and purposes, this feels like the beginning of something bigger. It feels different. Let's try to comprehend what we're living through. For years, this tension stayed indirect. Israel and Iran pushed through proxies, through other territories, through influence, through deterrence. For years, there were understood limits, red lines that were not crossed, because the consequences were understood. Those lines have collapsed. That's not opinion, that's apparent. And when deterrence collapses, escalation becomes easier. That should give us pause. And when tensions like this begin to break loose, the conversation almost immediately jumps to a much bigger question. World War III. Some people say it quietly, others say it loudly, but the thought is now in the air. And then there's the noise, the analysis, the commentary, in a flood of theories trying to explain what's happening. There is no shortage of opinion and explanations, from established experts to everyday people. Why now? What is really driving this? What happens next? I stayed up late listening to one podcast after another. Different takes, different outcomes, different people to blame, different reasons. Narratives form very quickly in a moment like this, especially in this day and age. And once those narratives form, they start to harden. The manner in which we now consume information is a battlefield. And in today's digital world, that process happens instantly. Millions of people watching the same clips over and over, reading the same headlines pumped into their particular echo chambers, hearing the same interpretations, the same words, the same conclusions. And within hours, opinions start to crystallize, sides take shape, teams form, certainty grows. After hours of listening, I'm not sure how anyone can sort through all of it and arrive at a clear answer. In sitting there, watching all of it unfold, I realized something. We are now being asked or told to process and absorb a potential global crisis like this event the same way we process everything else. The same mental routine we use for everyday things. Check the phone, answer a message, scroll another video, add something to the cart, figure out dinner. And somehow, it all ends up in the same mental space. Would you like that meal delivered? What time should we book the dentist? And should we bomb the hell out of these people? Like we have any say in any of it whatsoever. All of it processed the same way. But events like this rarely stay contained. When conflict breaks out between powerful countries, the ripple effects can travel far beyond the battlefield. Markets react. Energy flows change. Allies are forced to pick a direction. Old rivalries wake back up. And suddenly, a regional conflict can begin to feel like something larger. A shock in one region can move through the system almost instantly. What happens in one place no longer stays there. Could moments like this be the opening scene of a much larger reckoning now beginning to unfold? That may sound dramatic, but history shows that large conflicts often begin with smaller ones that spiral outward and out of control. A single strike, a retaliation, and then another retaliation. Lines blur and pressure builds. And before anyone fully understands it, the situation has grown far beyond what anyone intended. That is the part should have us all concerned. Because moments like this have a way of changing the world in ways we cannot fully predict. The world that emerges on the other side can look very different from the one we thought we understood. And yet, in moments like this, something else can happen. To me, after paying attention for the last 25 years, this also feels like clarity. For years, there was tension, posturing, threats of total annihilation. But much of it lived in the shadows. Countries testing limits, signals being sent. Every story or announcement was something to decode. Everyone trying to read between the lines. Now, the shadows are gone. No more reading between the lines. The lines are visible. They are becoming crystal clear. Not only in Iran and the Gulf, but for the entire planet. Intentions are becoming harder to hide. The world can see who stands where. And while that realization can feel ominous, there is also a strange sense of clarity, almost as if the weight of the possible threats and the confusion of strategic obfuscation have been identified and is in the process of being adjudicated. And sometimes, when long-held tension finally breaks, the truth comes into full view. But if this conflict grows, it will not look like wars from the past. The landscape has changed and everyone sees it. War today moves differently. Information travels instantly. Financial markets react within seconds. A drone can travel hundreds of miles without a pilot with a payload that can destroy the planet. Cyber attacks can shut down power grids and communication networks. Artificial intelligence is now entering the battlefield. Algorithms analyzing targets, systems making decisions faster than humans can react. Cue the preppers. For most of human history, war was something far away for most people. Steel against steel. Physical armies moving across real land. Physical supply lines. But today, conflict can unfold across screens, satellites, networks, and invisible systems most people never see or even know about within seconds. And the pace of modern conflict is now moving faster than the human mind was ever designed to process. And yet, while all of this is unfolding, life continues. Tomorrow morning, millions of people will wake up. They will make coffee, drive to work, walk the dog, Parents will take their children to school. People will sit in traffic, answer emails, figure out what to eat for dinner. And somewhere on another screen or another browser tab, a missile may cross a border. And we will watch it from our phones, from our couches, waiting to see what happens next and reacting to it without hesitation or much thought in real time. This is the strange reality of the modern world. Global events unfolding and showcased for all in real time, while ordinary life moves forward at the exact same moment. But history shows that moments like this can grow into something larger. The real danger is not the first strike. The real danger is the chain reaction that will unfold.